What's up, everyone? Today we're going to learn the song Love of God by Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham. This is in the key of F sharp, which has 6 sharps. Let's play it all the way through and then I'll break it down at the end. And that is Love of God by Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham. This is such a great melody, and this reminds me of an old hymn with like the classic, 3 verses. So it's a very, very beautiful melody. We're going to go into the breakdown here, but before we get there, this is sort of geared toward the intermediate keyboard player. Now, if you're a beginner, I'm going to be breezing by some of these concepts pretty quickly. So if you want a deeper dive, you can check my schedule below to check out my one-on-one Zoom lessons. But I also created a one-on-one piano course to bring you up to speed on a lot of the stuff that we're doing. So you can check that out in the description as well. That's geared to get you from knowing nothing about the piano to being able to play in church. It's called Church Piano 101. So check that out in the link below. All right, so the Love of God starts with this progression. It starts with this melody, really, in your right hand. So that's A sharp, C sharp, A sharp, F, D sharp. The chords for the intro are F sharp, A sharp minor, and to the B chord. And I'm doing very sort of minimal versions of this at the beginning. I'm even kind of like splitting the chords between my hands so that it creates a more low-key version. So that's the melody. And then the chords for the verse. It's so good. To the B chord. D sharp minor, C sharp, F sharp over A sharp to a B chord, C sharp suspended, resolve, F sharp, and then I consider this next part kind of like the pre-chorus. So starting on B, C sharp, F sharp, B, D sharp minor, C sharp. Now a lot of these C sharp chords they kind of could be just regular C sharp, or you could suspend them and then resolve them. So C sharp this is the 5 chord of the key. So we can either do suspended and then resolve, or sometimes the alternative to that is an F sharp over C sharp. That's even more kind of grand way to do it, and then resolve it and then back to the 1. So anyway, that's a little side note, but this is the pre-chorus. D sharp minor, C sharp suspended, and then resolve. F sharp. We have a little walk down. So there's a lot of movement here, but one thing that can help you is just understanding whatever your key you're playing in, you want to learn all the inversions of each of these chords, right? So for my F sharp, I'm going to do this as like a warm-up before I even get started. B, C sharp, D sharp minor, and those are kind of like the only 4 chords in this particular song. Now you might do variations on a C sharp chord, C sharp suspended, C sharp 7 sometimes, C sharp add 2. So there's different variations, but those are the 4 chord names in this song. And so if you can really get those under your hands, that'll really help you to navigate. No matter what inversion you see me doing, you'll be able to kind of play that because you've already practiced the fundamentals. That's kind of the idea of my approach to this whole thing, is really learn my inversions so I can create the best voicing possible. The voicing is basically what notes you select. Even though you have an F sharp written on the chord chart, you can play it like this, 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 this. So many different versions of an F sharp chord. So learning your inversions and a couple of these additional add 2s and suspendeds can go a long way to help you sound that much better. So let's get to the chorus. We're singing, "Oh, how great." that's the melody, and each one of these choruses I'm playing a little different. The first chorus I might be down here, oh, I was singing, oh, how great is the love of God. Sort of in a lower range. That interlude, and then the second chorus is a little bit bigger, so I might be doing something like this. So I'm moved up an octave, and I'm also using more 4-note chords instead of just triads, right? I'm adding an octave a lot of times. You'll also see me following the melody. Oh, how great is the love of and then basically harmonizing the chords underneath. So one more time. So that's the kind of thing that can make it sound that much bigger and that much better when you're doing these songs. But each chorus is a little different, you know, dynamic wise. So you kind of adapt to what the song requires. And there's one other little thing here. So at the end of the third verse, there's this repeat. When I rise to walk the streets of heaven. So that's a classic, what we call it like a turnaround, 4, 5, where it would normally go to the 1, you do a deceptive cadence, which is the 6. That's actually a theoretical term. So you go to the 6th chord, which is a D sharp minor, instead of the 1 chord, which is the F sharp. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. It's like a fake ending, right? F sharp over A sharp. You do it again. Da, 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 da. I think I just started singing another Phil Wickham song. But similar thing, right? Okay, so there's the F sharp chord finally. So that D sharp minor or the 6th chord is a great way to do like a turnaround if you wanted to do a line again. So that's a perfect little illustration of that concept. And then on the last chorus, they do kind of a similar thing. All my days will see my Savior's face. They kind of land on the 4 chord, which is a great place to just let it ring also. How great is the love of God. They do that 6th chord again. How great is the love of God. Boom, 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 boom. And that little walk down is 4, 3, 2, 1. Phone keeps going off. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go ahead and silence that. Okay, so the 4 chord is a B chord. You can actually do an F sharp over A sharp, which is like a 1 over 3. 2 chord, which is a G sharp minor 7. And then wait for it, the 1 chord, right? So that's a little pause there. If you want to do a little arpeggio of an add 2 chord, that'd be cool. So basically an arpeggio is just taking a chord, like 4 notes, 3 notes, you can do 5 notes, 2 notes, however many, and you just run it up the piano. But what you want to do is disguise the crossover. So you don't hear like 3 separate chords. You want to hear like a nice little run. And I have an unweighted keyboard, so it's a little bit trickier. But on a piano, no matter what you're playing on, you want it to be a smooth run. So that's like a good little way. It's like an icing on the cake. You don't have to do that. You could just end on a sharp chord like that. We can roll it. Sometimes on that very last chord, you can roll either up or down. So if you just, even if you're sticking on the same set of notes here, instead of playing them all at once, you can roll into it or roll up. That's a nice little way to, it's almost like you're strumming a guitar if you do that, right? Like the notes aren't all happening exactly at the same time, but they're kind of like, it's like a slow strum. So it's kind of, I think that's called a glissando technically, but it's a nice way to do the last chord as well. So this is a very beautiful song, and it's by Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham. So if you got anything out of this tutorial, feel free to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below on maybe some other songs you'd like me to do in the future. I will be doing some more tutorials coming up. I also have an Ableton Live course for those of you who are interested in audio production or playing tracks in church and don't know how to use Ableton Live. Ableton Live is a great software, so just a little plug for that. I have a course for that below. So check that out if you like. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.